528 with a 3.0 non-turbo. It's got a coolant leak. Not sure what's going on. Just gonna jump straight in, see what's happening. All right, with our cover off, looking at our water pump, she's generally dry. Looking at the thermostat, it's generally dry. Not saying it hasn't failed, just saying. Customer complaint was a coolant leak, not overheating. I see a lot of coolant closer to the outer side of like where the frame is. Usually that's where people may have overfilled their coolant, or if the coolant reservoir or overflow tank is overflowing. Okay, so I didn't record this like I wanted to. Kind of got into the diagnosis and had to run to get parts, but as you can see, we replaced the coolant reservoir that comes with a cap. Right now we're doing our bleed process so we don't make a mess. Put the cap back on. This is what I found. All right, this is our old reservoir, old overflow tank, or expansion tank, whatever you want to call it. So the old cap, the O-rings, hopefully it doesn't make a mess. All right, you see that's round, that's flat. Those O-rings, that can cause an issue. Camera's dirty, sorry. There are some directional marks, you know, when you're torque, but the torque required to release it was not much. Of course, this is brand new, but once you get close to the directional marks, you get some resistance. That's those O-rings creating the seal. So I also, before I even got the coolant reservoir, this whole setup, I didn't record it. I thought just the cap was bad. I went and got just the cap. It wasn't OEM, it was a Moto Rad. But that cap fitted looser than this. Like I could literally just move it back and forth. This old cap had more grab, if I could say that, than the new cap. I don't know if I bought a bad new cap from the parts store. Maybe it was returned. They put it back on the, I don't know. Went on ahead and sold the expansion tank job. And now I'm seeing what I want to see. All right, so after talking with the customer off camera, found out that he was seeing the car leak after it was sit. And when he ran up to the bank and just got back home, he would sit here and it would just start letting out coolant. This is what I walked up to. He said while it was running, it wasn't really leaking. I actually looked at this car before really quickly, and the guy was like, yeah, man, it's leaking. I'm like, well, I don't see anything leaking. You know, he had it running and everything. But come to find out that the issue was the cap. So I'll try to explain this as accurate as I can. Please follow me. I might say some wrong things. But, ooh, yeah, anytime you see this on a BMW, this orange, that means this is bad or it's going bad and it's weak. Them hoses are something else on these BMWs. But anyways, after the car is shut off, if your radiator cap, expansion tank cap, whatever cap is not holding pressure, when that engine is shut off, that water pump is not circulating that pressure or that steam, whatever. If there's an air pocket, there'll be steam, but it'll push to the highest point. Your tank will always and usually be your highest point. So when all that pressure, since the engine is off, is coming to the highest point, that's his job, to hold that pressure in so everything can stay at a point of being liquid and not turn into a gas. Sometimes I don't explain it the best, but if your cap isn't causing pressure where water boils at 212, it's going to boil at 212 unless you have pressure. When you add pressure, that boiling point goes up. If you add antifreeze plus pressure, it goes up even higher. After all that talking I just did, we are still bleeding. It takes a little while, so that's why you want to have it hooked up. There's plenty of videos showing you how to put it in this mode. Okay, I heard our water pump shut off. We no longer see our stream from our bypass hose. So we're gonna start it up, make sure we have heat, make sure the bleeding process is complete. If not, you can do it twice, 3 times if needed. Drive it, test it, make sure you're all good. In conclusion, if your radiator cap is not doing this job, you will lose coolant when the car is off. It'll build it back up and press past the cap and leak through whatever the little weep hole, and it will just leak for when there's overflow. That's why it's an overflow tank. It will relieve pressure if it reaches up to that point. But if the cap fails, it'll always reach that point. So if you losing coolant, slowly losing coolant as you drive, maybe not leaking it, but if you slowly lose coolant, always just check that cap. It's a $15, $20, $30 fix. If the O-rings look bad, give it a replace. It'll never hurt. All right. I'll call this one a fix. Don't mind this. I just have extra water in here to wash down that coolant that I dropped. But we're gonna call this a fix. Y'all be good. Dr. J's gone.